Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Bundesliga matchday 26 Topspiel between RB Leipzig and Borussia Dortmund. Glad to be back. I've just been traveling from work and I've literally just gotten back into Adelaide, where I'm from, not long ago. If you're watching this, let me know how the audio is going and also where you're watching this from. My name is Justin Crozer. I am the host of the RBL Talk podcast, the worldwide podcast for all RB Leipzig fans worldwide. Just as we get everyone trickling into the stream, welcome to you all, wherever you are watching this from. We are currently streaming over on X, over on YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram. I will also just go through a little bit of admin while we wait for the lineups, as we can talk about those in just a moment. The first thing I will say is that if you would like to get all the latest podcast news, make sure that you subscribe to the Substack and you can get up to date podcast news whenever I release them, and you can get it to the QR code on the right of the screen. It should be just over here. You probably can't see it, just up there in the top right corner. And if you would like to also join the RB Fans Discord, it's completely free. Head over to the link tree over there and join the ever-growing RB Fans community for all RB fans worldwide. There is two dedicated channels, one in English and one in German. So all you local RB fans are definitely not missing out. You can speak in German topics about the team, so about general topics as well. If you'd also like to support the podcast and enjoy what I'm doing, you can go and join the RBL Talk members. You get podcast episodes ad-free, get them early, and you get everything else as well. There's a whole list of them over on the RBL Talk support page over there. And I'm also now on Apple Podcasts as well. So if you want to get your RBL Talk memberships over on Apple Podcasts, you can do the same thing as well and get it directly in your feed there. Welcome to everyone as well, trickling in and joining into the podcast wherever you are watching this. Just going through the lineups here. It's not a bad lineup here from Borussia Dortmund. The top spiel here, player watch, was going to be for the podcast. There's two here for those that don't know. So there's one for RB Leipzig and there's also one for Borussia Dortmund. Now, with Borussia Dortmund, it is Suru Guirassy. He has been on a little bit of a dry spell at the moment with his goals, so expect him to be firing on all cylinders tonight. And for RB Leipzig, it was Tidiam Gomis. Really enjoyed his debut. I'm really hoping that we can get a lot more than just 2 minutes. I'm really sick of Marco Rosa putting on these couple of minutes for debuts. It just really seems pointless. You got to at least give him, 10, 15 minutes or something like that to really start to develop and get into games. Welcome to everyone else just coming in and joining in the stream. My name is Justin Crozer. I am the host of the RBL Talk podcast, the podcast for all RB fans worldwide. This will be your matchday 26 Bundesliga watch-along of the top spiel between RB Leipzig and Borussia Dortmund. RB Leipzig are currently on the back foot, slowly going down that table in the Bundesliga, and they need to get a win today in the top spiel to solidify their rise back up to the top four and try to get European football. As with the podcast, there has been some news as well, and Xavi Simons is having issues in the dressing rooms. We're not going to be able to keep him as well, along with other players like Benjamin Sesko, if we don't get top four. So there's going to be that as well. It's going to be a bit of a flow-on effect if we don't manage to get top four, and we're going to have to sell off a few players. Personally, I don't mind having to sell off a few players, as I think we do need a rebuild. We've got too many individuals and not enough players that are playing for the team. Welcome to everyone else just joining into the live stream as well. No matter where you're watching this from, I will be with you for the coverage this evening. Just having a look at the lineups here for those that didn't see my post. We start with Peter Galacci in goal. From left to right, we have David Raum. Chadel Bishebu is in central defence with Willie Orban next to him on his right, and Lutusrel Gertruda out on the right for right back. In the middle of the park, we have a few midfielders actually. So Rydell Baku's out on the right hand side. Nicholas Seibold as well is in there. Christoph Baumgartner gets his spot back in the starting lineup after coming back from an illness. And so he's playing on the right hand side with Xavi on the left. And up front, we have the tried and tested strike duo partnership of Luis Openda and Benjamin Sesko, who are down a little bit so far this season with their goal output. And with Borussia Dortmund, they're starting with a formation of what looks to be a 4-4-1-1. We've got Kobel in goal. We've got Reinson on the left, Schutterbeck and Emre Can in the middle of defence there. Out on the right is Anton, Marcel Sabitzer, and Pascal Gross in the middle of the park there. And sorry, computer was just having a little bit of a headache there, trying to do a Mac update. Not right now. And then up front with a three here, we have Adyemi, Julian Brandt, and Bayer. And leading the line is Saru Garassi. Remember, you can also comment along wherever you are watching this live stream and interact with anyone across all platforms with the chat on your right-hand side of the screen, just over here. If you would like to chat with other people while you are watching this stream, feel free, go ahead. And if you would like to say to me, I'll interact with you live as well while we go through and watch this fixture. Let me know your predictions down below as well, what you think. If you didn't listen to the latest podcast episode, I said it was going to be an RBL loss. I just don't see us being able to win, even though we're going to be at home and we're going to have every single possible chance. It's just that with the new outline of Borussia Dortmund with their new manager, they're really starting to get a flow-on effect now and starting to achieve what the manager is implementing. So I do expect a very tight game, and I am hoping for an RB Leipzig win, of course. But I just, with the way we're traveling at the moment, something drastically needs to happen for us to get the win. Building to fever pitch now as the captains are just in the middle of the park, pick their sides with the coin toss, and with the officials today shaking hands, and we'll be getting underway in just a few moments' time. For those of you that joined in last week with the Topspiel Bundesliga watch along, if you remember the way we started that one, it wasn't too well, as I did have, unfortunately, the stream was actually muted for a lot of it. But today, everything should be working perfectly fine, as I took some time today to do a little bit of a test as well. So everything should be fine. I do apologize in advance if there's any sort of static or anything like that. It should be okay, but I might have a little bit of interference at the moment around where the machine is. And we're just about to get underway in the Red Bull Arena in Leipzig. Welcome to the people joining in on Instagram as well. Welcome to the chat. Please make sure that you comment along over there, and I'll interact with you live as well. So all you need to do is just comment along and we will get you sorted into this stream. Unfortunately, you will not be able to be up on the right hand side here, as that's just a limitation with Instagram. And we're underway in this Topspiel in Bundesliga matchday 26. Let's just remove last time's little chat there, as no one's had any chances yet, although Sideru Garassi has just been fouled from what looks to be Baumgartner there, and has given away a dangerous free kick. I should say, given away a free kick in a dangerous position. Just on the top left area of the goal square there, probably around about, looks to be maybe 20 yards out, just on a slight angle. It'll be coming in from a cross here. Not very happy about Peter Galacci being in goal again. I think Martin van der Voort needs to start more often, needs to be in goal more often as well. But Marco Rosa insists in using Peter Galacci, so we'll see if that's the right decision come end of the game, as this free kick is about to come in. delivery in to the back post and across everyone, and it goes out for a goal kick. Current weather in Leipzig is 9 degrees and cloudy this evening. A lot different compared to where I'm at in Adelaide. We just had a 41-degree Celsius day. It's absolutely hot, and I would rather have a clear microphone than running the air conditioner or anything like that. Welcome to you of those just joining in the stream. This is the Bundesliga Topspiel of round 26 against Borussia Dortmund. I'm your host, Justin Crozer, the host of the RBL Talk podcast, the global podcast for all RB fans worldwide. Just coming into the 3rd minute now of play, Marco Rosa is barking orders on the outside there, and the official has stopped play here for a moment and just giving a warning for a few players. Me personally, I think Borussia Dortmund is our actual main rival in the Bundesliga, for dominance of who needs to be, second to Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga. And Borussia Dortmund have been there and apart around there for quite some time now. But with the rise of us, RB Leipzig, we're certainly ones to stop that from happening on a regular basis. And not to mention the DFB Pokal final as well that started the podcast. The humiliation 4-1 loss, although we did ended up winning it the following 2 years after that. So it wasn't all for nothing, so to speak, but we really did have to. It was a bit humbling, so to speak. I mean, it was the first ever major trophy that we could have won as well. So, I mean, forgive me for being a bit optimistic that year, but disappointed that I wasn't doing any live streams for that final. If we get into the final of the DFB Pokal this year, I'll have to do my very best with the work to make sure I can do a live stream for that. Currently, Borussia Dortmund have the ball back in their defensive third, I should say. My apologies. RB Leipzig are currently shaped up quite well. They're marking territory in a zonal defense system here at the moment, starting to press the ball carry, which is good to see. Not often that Xavi attacks the ball. That's one of the small grievances I have with Xavi is that he doesn't do a lot in defence, but he's overcommitted there, so he's having to run back or jog back to his default positioning here. As Borussia Dortmund have a chance getting it in the box down the right hand side, and it goes out for a goal kick. Welcome to the live stream as well. If you're just joining in, this is the round 26 match day 26 Bundesliga Topspiel of RB Leipzig versus Borussia Dortmund. And welcome to the coverage wherever you are watching this around the world, as Borussia Dortmund have another chance, almost feeding the ball for Garassi from Marcel Sabitzer, but Peter Galacci is there to go down and low and get the ball into his grasp. As RB Leipzig have now a fast break, going from Seshko onto the right-hand side, looking for Baku by the looks of things. And Seshko loses the ball on the return ball with a pass and go, and ends up giving it away back to Borussia Dortmund, but is mopped up nicely from Letishirel Gertruda, which is good to see. Sometimes he can be a little bit wary in defence. David Raum now has the ball down the left with a lovely cross from in the middle of the park. And Xavi now gets an interception and a recovery. He's still down the left-hand side. He passes it to David Raum. How many times are we going to be saying that this evening? And it's gone back to Bishebu. And David Raum is open by himself here, goes for goal. And Kobel parries it out only as far as a Baku. and it seems to be going. No, it stays in play, but there's a free kick given in the goal square, or I should say, penalty. No, it wasn't the penalty. Let's have a quick look. No, it's just the goal area, not the penalty area. If you're just joining in the stream, thank you for your viewership or your listenership this evening. I do know a lot of people do listen to this podcast or this live as well while you're at the game in the stadium. So if you're in the stadium listening to this, hello all the way from Australia. And I hope you are being very loud that I can hear you on this stream. Make sure to get behind all the boys and show your support as well, no matter how you do that, wherever you are watching the game, whether you're in the stadium, you're at home, or you're abroad. Make sure that you wear your colours, show your support, and let's go RBL. Just coming into the 8th minute now as Peter Galacci has the ball in his goal area. RB Leipzig's really struggling to get it into their attacking third at the moment. And it's Garassi already has a shot at goal, but straight into the grasp of Peter Galacci. That's Soru Garassi's first look at the goals. And I don't know why this is being a bit of a pain in the backside. RB Leipzig having the ball down on the right hand side. I have liked that they are attacking more down the right hand side, but we're still being one dimensional. We're either still favouring the right hand side or the left hand side, as Bishebu does a good clearance there, but only as far as would look to be Emre Can. But Xavi Simons wins the ball back with a lovely sliding challenge, passes to Lewis Openda. He needs to hold the ball up, and he gets pushed there. It's an absolute free kick. Give him a yellow card booking, mate. Yep. Thank you very much. You can't just push an attacker as a defender. Emre Can, you're probably one of the worst defenders I've ever seen. Like, you can't just push an attacker onto the floor. That's just ludicrous. That's Emre Can's fourth yellow card for the Bundesliga campaign of 24-25. You have Xavi Simons and David Raum standing over the ball. Wouldn't mind a very good whip from David Raum here. If he can lure the goalkeeper out and out of position, but get it on the head of somebody. I've been poor in free kicks, so we'll see how we go. As Xavi Simons takes it. And it wasn't too bad. Kobel had to tip it over, tried to go over the crossbar, gets it back into play. Don't mind having a shot there. Xavi almost caught the goalkeeper unawares. As the ball is now bouncing around in dispute between players from both sides. As Borussia Dortmund might be on here. And Adeyemi has the ball, just needs to shoot, opens it up, but David Raum gets the challenge away. Well done to David Raum there. Really stopped that attack in its tracks. Welcome to everyone just joining into the live stream of this Topspiel of Bundesliga matchday 26 between RB Leipzig and Borussia Dortmund. I am your host for the coverage this evening. My name is Justin Crozer. I am the host of the RBL Talk podcast, the global podcast for all RB fans worldwide. As David throw in just on the defensive third line as he throws the ball down the left hand side here. Very long throw in here to Lewis Openda, but is unable to stop the ball. And now the ball is out of possession from Borussia Dortmund as Raido Baku is on the right hand side with the ball. Backtracks to Gertruda. Gertruda to Orban to Bishebu, just passing across the centre circle. Bishebu passes inside. And now the play is back towards the right-hand side, and RB Leipzig is shifting again across to the left. Unable to get past this zonal defence here from Borussia Dortmund. At least the passing is being, at least most of it, going forward, although we're not actually gaining much position on the pitch. Speaking of which, now Seshko was going to be set free here, but he kicks it straight into his marker. Round on the left-hand side. Xavi has the ball. Shoot, Xavi. Gardner takes the shot instead. And he just goes straight into the Borussia Dortmund defence. And every single RB Leipzig player is into their half, with just Willi Orban going past the centre circle into their defensive third. So I should say defensive half. Oh, wow. David Round with a nice cross in to Lewis Openda and almost a simple tap in. It comes off, rocketing off the crossbar back into play. RB Leipzig looking like they're going to score the first goal in this one this evening. Just had to keep that a little bit lower. We're going underneath the crossbar instead of on the exact crossbar itself. Do like this build-up play though, looking a lot more threatening than we have been usually. Have a look over at the people watching on Instagram. Welcome to you 22 viewers this evening. If you'd like to get involved with this live stream, no matter where you are watching this, whether you're watching this on Instagram, X, YouTube, or Twitch, please make sure to comment along and I'll interact with you live. Apologies for that. My alarm was going off for day shift with work. Hopefully that didn't go into the stream for anyone there, as Borussia Dortmund have a throw-in down on their left-hand side. Right-hand side for RB Leipzig, as they currently have possession trying to get through this Borussia Dortmund defence. As they push forward here down the right-hand side, Baku does attempt to cross it in, but it goes out for a goal kick as it comes off Baku first. Or I should say it last. If you're just joining into the stream, welcome to the Bundesliga Matchday 26 Topspiel of RB Leipzig versus Borussia Dortmund. I am your host this evening, Justin Crozer of the RBL Talk podcast, the global podcast for all RB fans worldwide. The player watch for this evening is Didier Gomes for RB Leipzig and Suru Garassi for Borussia Dortmund. So far, Gomes is on the bench and hasn't been put on the pitch as of yet, as we're only just coming into the 17th minute now. And Garassi has already had a couple of chances as well for the Black and Yellows. Borussia Dortmund are going for a set play here, passing it around on their left hand side. And Billy Orban makes a good clearance, only as far as Benjamin Sesko, as he does attempt to dribble through. But we have Xavi is in space with David Raum. David Raum shoots, and it just misses. And Xavi gets the goal by being in the right place at the right time. I think he needed that for his confidence. And RB Leipzig get the first goal in Xavi's 50th game. Xavi opens the scoring. I don't think I've spelt anything correctly. Just updating the. There we go. What do you think of that goal? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. It was a decent save there by Kobel. Just needed to, instead of parrying it to an attacker, just needs to parry it anywhere else. But Xavi just following it in and just has to do a tap in. And it was sent already. Kobel was going towards the right, and Xavi just goes the other way and is left standing rooted to the spot. Rinkatic Sports Agenda, welcome to the live stream. LFG, good team goal. I definitely agree with that. Very, very difficult for us to be scoring goals as a team here. And we just got the nice fast break and Xavi just being in the right place at the right time. A little bit of luck, but you need that sometimes when you're not playing at your absolute best. And RB Leipzig are certainly not playing at their absolute best and haven't done so for months. But we'll take that now. But hopefully we don't squander the lead as we normally do squander leads. So we just need to make sure that we don't end up losing this game and getting a big head, so to speak. As there is a bit of a stop and play here down on the left-hand side for Borussia Dortmund. It does look to be a free kick, though, for RB Leipzig, as Rydel Baku has just been treaded on his right foot. Just going to stop my alarm there. For some reason, I still left my alarms for day shift in the mornings, which it's now 4:20 a.m. my time live in Adelaide, bringing you the action here all the way from the other side of the world. As RB Leipzig now fall back again and going forward, just pushing out towards the right-hand side here. Lovely pass and go here between Baku and what looks to be Baumgartner. Final ball from Lewis Openda is poor, which I have noticed that a lot of the time he is poor. We have won the ball back, though, as Bishebu won the ball back high up the pitch, and David Raum goes to cross the ball in, but it's gone straight into the hands of Kobel, the Borussia Dortmund keeper. Having a look at the comments here, make sure that you comment along wherever you are watching this live stream Bundesliga watch along of the Topspiel of matchday 26 between RB Leipzig and Borussia Dortmund. Justin, did you see that Marco went to rebuild this team? I would rebuild it anyway, but if he wins DFB, I think it's supposed to be DFB, DFL, he deserves another season, in my opinion. Yeah, look, see, this really depends. This is where I'm on the fence. If he can win the DFB Pokal, but also get top 4 for Champions League, or forget Champions League, at least top 5 for European football, then sure. But we're going to need to back him in the long term, and we're going to need to turn around and probably be expecting to drop down out of European competitions. So it means that Marco Rosa has a set game style, and he's always going to be the same game style. He doesn't adapt. He can't physically adapt, which is why I say that he's not a good manager tactically, even though he's much well loved. And look, I like the guy as well, but when you come to think of it, that if you can't be tactically adept when the situation changes out on the pitch and you're squandering leads as well, then you're not the right manager to take the club forward. Now, he would deserve to be able to rebuild the team around what he wants. That being said, you need to make sure that if that's going to happen, it's going to be like a 5-year project. And I just don't see, unless Marco Rosa is specifically handpicking the players himself, just getting it signed off on by Jurgen Klopp, that it's going to be even a worthy project in the long run. But that's all basically for me. But yeah, you feel like he got stuffed over the season because he had no proper defensive midfielder. Yeah, I can see that as well. And Apenta currently has the ball here in the attacking forward line. We'll get back to a few more comments just in a moment's time, just after this play, as Xavi goes into the top right-hand corner, but just straight back to Kobel. Coming into the 23rd minute now. And Paramjot Singh Saini says, where has this team been the entire season? That's a good question. This team comes and goes. That's certainly for sure. But giving Rose another season runs the risk of losing Ten Hag and Hannes as an option. Yeah, look, for me, I don't see Sebastian Hannes actually going from Stuttgart to RB Leipzig, regardless. It wouldn't be a bad pickup, though, that's for sure. For me, I would actually be wanting to see what Ten Hag can do, considering we've already got a couple of Dutch players in the team. He's worked with a couple of players already in the team. And if you're wanting to keep Xavi Simons for a little bit longer as well, I do think that having a Dutch international manager is probably going to be the better option. I do know, as Rinkatek just said, that Sebastian used to be at RB, and so he does know the system a little bit. But I'm thinking more of current players and that the system itself doesn't exist anymore at the moment under RB Leipzig with Marco Rosa. So we need to go back to the drawing board a little bit and just rework the actual Red Bull philosophy, because we're no longer a really good counter-attacking side. Don't get me wrong, most of the time we've gotten our defense a little bit better as well, but we actually haven't. We've lost the attacking and creativeness. So we really need to have a manager that is able to bring that to the team. Which, yes, Sebastian Hannes could quite possibly do that, but I think it's time for grabbing some new ideas from managers who haven't been in the RB system, and then implementing the old RB style philosophy of great pressing, quick counter-attacking football, being deadly on the break, and then also implementing other things from a new manager who will have new ideas outside of the RB system. As there's a corner kick here down the left-hand side for Borussia Dortmund coming into the 25th minute. Delivery is in the middle of the box, bounces around there, and it looks like Pascal Gross with a header. But it's just only as far as Rydel Baku and RB Leipzig attempting a quick counter-attack here, but just not good at it anymore. And this is the gripe that I've been saying all along, is that we just can't do any counter-attacking football anymore from a fast break. It just doesn't exist anymore. Very, very rarely do we get it, but most of the time that we've scored has been essentially open play, but it just looks messy. So going back to some comments here. Yep. Rinkatic doesn't think that Eric Ten Hag is that. That's okay. He's not actually the manager I would have been picking. For me, it's actually Maurizio Sarri or Rafa Benitez, but I think the latter is actually picked up by someone now. And Kamarjot Singh Saini says, I feel Ten Hag has a point to prove as well. He has great experience with Manchester United. Yeah, absolutely. He actually got, Manchester United is one of those toxic clubs now. It doesn't matter. You almost failed. You're almost set to fail. It doesn't matter who you are there, unfortunately. So, and he did quite well, actually, over there as well. So he didn't win any trophies or anything like that, but he certainly wasn't the worst manager I've seen in world football with his time over there. As there is now a free kick for which looks to be for Borussia Dortmund as Openda and his counterpart, an opposite number, collide, and there's going to be a free kick for Borussia Dortmund, which was Schlotterbeck. Yeah, Rinketek makes a good point there. To be honest, if you want a German manager, it's hard if you don't want them to be from the RB system. Yeah, I get that. And that's a little bit more to do with, like, the general consensus of the hatred against RB Leipzig and things like that. So I get where you're coming from there as well. As back to the footy here, I should say, as RB Leipzig are attempting to go forward here, just on the right hand side, passing in beautiful triangles here, but just really need to be going forward as we dribble slowly towards goal. We end up going down to the left hand side with David Raum. It was a decent delivery to everyone's falling around on the floor here, as both Lewis Depender's on the floor, Xavi Simons was on the floor. It was a nice delivery, and Christoph Baumgartner, as Baumey looks like he might be a bit hurt here, or at least Sabitzer is very worse for wear here. Sabitzer, I think, has done a knee, actually, to be honest. Just having a look at the replay here, how they collide together. Yep, it looks like he's friendly fire and he's done a knee, Marcel Sabitzer, as he basically hyperextends it and then gets crushed in between Christoph Baumgartner and his counterpart. Yeah, and Premot Singh says, this is about Ten Hag, he won 2 cups, one against prime Manchester City. His tactics game is pretty good. Definitely no denying that there, as we have a break in play here as some medical treatment is being given to Marcel Sabitzer, ex-RB Leipzig player as well. And yeah, it is a knee. He's holding his knee, and it does look like that he'll be off and will be not taking any more part of this game. As Wikitic Sports Agenda also says, like Roger Schmidt and Sebastian Hones, to be honest, I feel like Klopp's 3 striker system would work well at Leipzig. Just need a better box-to-box player. Well, that's what I've said for quite a while now, actually, that we should be playing with like a 3-4-3, which can go into like a 3-2-5 or something in defence as well. But Marco Rosa doesn't know any other tactics besides it is a inverted 3-5-1, which doesn't really work because you have the players that don't work hard enough and get caught out and overcommitted. So there's that, because we have both of our fullbacks all in the 3-5-2 that or something like that. That Marco Rosa likes to put out. The two, on the outside, Rydel Baku and David Raum, they push too far up the pitch, and then we're both caught out on the flanks. So it's just not possible. You have to have one player ability to track back, and then you also need to have a midfielder in the central middle of the park. Someone who's going to be hardworking, someone like Kevin Campbell, Arthur Vermeeren. So when only one of the players is overlapping, that player covers the flank, the fullback position. So. And that's how you ideally do it. But then we have no coverage. No player in the middle of the park there makes the coverage. So, and yeah, that's exactly what I've said before, Rinketik, on the podcast, that at least with the front 3 anyway, that it would be Xavi, Sesko, and Jackson, we should say, Lewis Openda. So that is the way that I would be running a front 3. But the problems with that is that both Xavi Simons and Lewis Openda don't work hard enough in defence. So you can't really just have a midfield 3 because you're not going to win the ball in the middle of the park, which is where the game is won or lost. As RB Leipzig come forward, David Raum attempts to go a goal, and Kobel comes out and parries it, only as far as Baku, and RB Leipzig try again. And the ball is in dispute, going around a little bit here. And Openda has the ball just on the top right-hand side of the box. And it goes out for a throw-in, but last coming off of Lewis Openda, and it'd be a Borussia Dortmund throw-in. As Marcel Sabitzer is substituted out of the game with a knee injury, coming into the 32nd minute now. As Ben Sabaini, by the looks of the spelling of that, takes his place in the middle of the park. And my apologies there, the score has momentarily disappeared. If you're just joining into the live stream, welcome to the Bundesliga Matchday 26 live stream watch along of the Topspiel between RB Leipzig and Borussia Dortmund. The big news so far in this game from an RB Leipzig perspective is that Xavi opened scoring in his 50th Bundesliga appearance. And if you're a Borussia Dortmund fan joining into the coverage, welcome as well if you are joining in this coverage. Marcel Sabitzer has been substituted out with what looks to be a knee injury as he went up for the ball and essentially got sandwiched between Christoph Baumgartner and looked to be Schlotterbeck. And RB Leipzig are attacking more down that right-hand side again, which have just become the same predictable with David Raum and Xavi on the left-hand side. We're just essentially just swapping it to the right-hand side now. And instead, David Raum, it's just Rydel Baku. And as Ringatech Sports Agenda says, as we're going on about change of formations and style at RB Leipzig, I would play a 4-4-2, then attack 3-2-3-2, which is a very interesting formation there. So one of the wing backs go forward. The issue is that RB don't have a proper defensive midfielder, except Xavier Schlupp. Yeah, I can agree with that. I wouldn't necessarily say Xavier Schlager is a defensive midfielder. He plays in that role, but he's more of a number six. He's a box-to-box midfielder. Good ball winner. We've really missed him out on the pitch as well because he also puts players in their place. By that I mean the positioning out on the pitch as well. As RB Leipzig may have a chance at goal here, and almost a goal there from Rydel Baku. Lovely left foot, but it just hits the crossbar and back into play. And it's gone all the way to the centre circle in the defensive half for RB Leipzig, and they will start again. Just coming into the 36th minute mark now with RB Leipzig up 1-0. Let me know your thoughts so far on this fixture. If you think that RB Leipzig will win, if you think we will lose, what you'd like to see coming up in the halftime interval, and also what your thoughts currently are on the tale of the take so far in this fixture. As Rydel Baku has a throw-in out on the right-hand side, is almost going to be able to throw this into the box if he so chooses with a long throw-in. Don't think he's got to be able to do that, though. I think he might throw it a bit short, although it looks to be throwing it into the box. As he takes a long throw-in run-up. Looping ball. Goes to Willie Orban, which is high up the pitch. Don't really like to see Orban that far up the pitch, as now with the ball going back, Guirassy almost wins the ball back. But Adeyemi gets the ball away, and then it gets deflected, and almost a fast break for RB Leipzig. However, Lewis Openda is offside again. No surprises there. That's one place that I would like Lewis Openda to really work on, is his ability to get back onside and also not be offside. He doesn't need to time he times his runs also very poorly. He's lightning quick. If he gets just like a centimetre of space, if that, is easily going to be able to outrun most defenders. So, at least most central defensive players anyway. So forget your frimpongs or anything like that on your fullbacks, but in natural, centre backs, Orban, not Orban, Lewis Pender's got him covered. So he just really needs to time those runs because he's got immense of quickness just off the blocks. Rinkatic says, if someone came in for Henriks for 35 plus this summer, would you sell? Uh, who would I sell? Let me know who you think I would sell. Coming into this fixture here, 38 minutes played. RB Leipzig have the ball with Openda running forward. Poor final pass again, but he can do it again. Attempts a cross on the left-hand side, and Garassi is back to defend, and it goes out for a corner kick down the left-hand side with Xavi Simons. Benny Henriks. Look, would I sell Henriks? I don't want to, but I would. If we got 40 million for him, sure. But Benny Henriks is still a top right back, so it's going to be very hard to be able to get someone of his caliber still and play there. So the problem is that Benny Henriks can cross the ball out wide, but he can't really score many goals. So if you're looking at a fullback that can score goals and also create chances, um, Indelkovic has already shown that he can do both of those. So even though he hasn't scored yet for RB Leipzig, but he's really gotten close a few times and has made chances, pretty regularly as well. So, look, I would be happy to sell, but then you'd also have to replace Indelkovic as well if we keep him as the replacement for Benny Henriks as well. So there's something that we lack completely all over the park is squad depth. Mind you, we also haven't seen a few players this year. Asano Drago as well, which looks to be an absolute flop at this point. Just nothing but injured. He could be the new injury-prone player, similar to like Neymar Jr. But the difference between obviously Drago and Neymar is that Neymar is going to be able to win you a game, and Drago is, you haven't really seen anything of him yet besides his time at Schalke. So, he's not going to be living up to expectations at this stage. So he really needs to make sure he gets his body right. It would be nice to see him at the back end of the season as well, just to see how he plays. But I don't think much of Drago for the current anyway. Maybe in a couple years' time, but we'll have to see how that signing goes. As Borussia Dortmund have the ball, passing it around up the left-hand side. And it is stopped by RB Leipzig coming into the 41st minute. I'm going to say now it's probably going to be maybe about 3 minutes of added time just with that injury with Marcel Sabitzer. But I have to disagree with you there, Rinkatic. I think Kevin Campbell doesn't need to be sold. He's actually one of our best working central defensive midfielders ever since Xavier Schlager's been out. So he actually is a good leader on the pitch. So we need that squad depth. So I think he's past it a little bit though, but he's certainly got a place at the squad at this point in time. As Peter Galacci picks up the ball, and we will reset with a goal kick or throw in. Just coming into the 42nd minute now, as Galacci says we're going to go for a nice kick up field. Paramete, look, with it comes to investing wingers or fullbacks are enough with the width. We don't play with wingers, so that just won't work. As RB Leipzig go forward here with a fast break on the right hand side, crosses in, and Xavi gets another fall. But yeah, as like Rinkatic said, Leipzig don't play with wingers, and like I just said as well, as Xavi Simons is a bit injured there from looks like came off his shin. So we don't play with wingers. Um, it would be nice to play with a bit more variety, but we normally have a strike duo, and then we have the fullbacks overlap. So it wouldn't hurt to play with wingers, but if you do that, you need to have really good core central midfield. They need to be. You need to have at least two box to box, one deep lying defensive midfielder, really good keen eye for a pass, really hard working, and we just don't have the passing capacity at the moment to like. You need Jurgen Klopp basically in the training on the pitch to help with training, which at head of global soccer now, Red Bull is not meant to be doing that. So, um, you know, that's why I like a formation of a 3-5-2. As Bayer goes to shoot and it goes straight off a RB Leipzig player, and Baku picks it up. But yeah, look, I think we need to go back to the drawing board when it comes to the style of football that we have. We've lost our identity. We need to also defend better, and we need to get a better formational tactical manager. Marco Rosa uh, just simply can't do it. Um, so I don't even know what he tries to attempt these days. But for me, and this is just a favorable formation, it's a 3-5-2, and you play with your back, your midfield five. You have your two central defensive midfielders in front of your three central, like your three centre backs, and then you have which really means the core of the play here. Your two players out wide, left and right midfielders, but they have to go up and down. They have to work really hard all day long. And then you also have your with the front three. So you have your two strikers normally, and then Xavi, or is what I would be putting him as a roaming central attacking midfielder, basically anywhere around that middle of the park. So, and then you basically have those three almost up the pitch. Um, but Xavi goes back deep to win the ball as well and create chances too. You can still play with a counter-attacking football and things like that. But I think Marco Rosa thinks like that when he has a back three and the midfield five, but because he does play a similar 3-5-2, but his formation is just wrong. It's all unorganized. The players don't defend well. There's a whole lot of things that me personally I would be changing. So the right idea is a 3-5-2, but then you play in defense as a 5-2, a 5-3-2. So you basically your two wide midfielders push back and cover the defense there, and then you have Xavi up forward a little bit more, but more central in defense. So he's a start of attack, and then you just have your central defensive midfielders dropping in more, so you can really get an overload and make it harder for teams to pass around. As Xavi goes to shoot, but it gets deflected. We're coming into the first minute of 3 minutes at a time, as I said. So I think the right ideas are there, but you still need to go back to the Red Bull philosophy of how to play football. But I haven't seen that in a good probably year and a bit, really. Yeah, absolutely. Uh, as a yellow card is given to Pascal Gross by the looks of things with his challenge on Lewis Openda. But I think Leipzig should do what top managers do with changing formation if needed. Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I like my 3-5-2, because that formation is very versatile. You can play a 3-5-2, as your normal. You can play as your, 5-3-2 in defence. So you overload the defensive third and the middle of the park, being able to win the ball back, making it hard for players, or I should say the opposition, to pass through you as well. But we just don't have the tactical knowledge of Marco Rosa because he hasn't drilled them enough. Essentially, most of the time they free roam. As that free kick was a bit poor there from David Raum. Did work the goalkeeper at the very least. But that's the thing. We need to really, really work on it. Um, but yeah, look, Rinkentic, I get that as well. where you're coming from there, like 3-5-2, sometimes 4-2-2, sometimes 4-3-3. The problem with that is though is that we don't have the players to do that. As Yemen, Adeyemi, I should say, shoots for goal, and Peter Galacci tips it around the corner for a corner kick. Yeah, look, we don't have the players to do those types of formations, unfortunately. So, um, but we also don't have a manager that's going to be able to change formations on the fly. So, Marco Rosa has shown time and time again that he just knows one way, and that's it. So he doesn't have a plan B. If things don't work, goes up ship creek. That's it. And it doesn't he doesn't make changes often. There's a few times where I have applauded for him for making changes and early, but those places are few and far between. And I think most people are looking, because they love Marco Rosa, and especially if they're a local, they're looking at him in rose-coloured glasses. Pardon the pun. And in their eyes, he can do no wrong. But just the quality of football has dropped for me at RB Leipzig ever since probably halfway through last season. Excuse me. Coming into the last minute now of added time, and looks like RB Leipzig will go into the break 1-0 lead as the whistle is blown by the official to confirm that statement. We haven't seen anyone of, excuse me, of player watch for RB Leipzig, as that was Rydor Baku, but we will have a quick look at Suru Garassi momentarily. But before we do that, I will just inform the viewers that Emre Can is not very happy with the official because of the how his team is playing, I guess, and also his booking as well. So, if you would like to get involved with the live stream, like a few people already have been, please make sure that you comment along wherever you are watching this live stream. We are currently streaming over on Instagram, X, YouTube, and Twitch. And very soon we will take a very short break. Make sure that you grab your refreshments and anything else that you need, as we will have a full action of the second half coming right up, and we'll go straight through with player watch in just a few moments. Welcome back after the halftime break. This is your top spiel of the match day 26 between RB Leipzig and Borussia Dortmund. I'm your host, Justin Crozer, the host of the RBL Talk podcast, the global podcast for all RB fans worldwide. If you would like to get involved with the podcast stream, make sure to comment along wherever you are watching this. We're currently streaming over on X, Twitch, YouTube, and Instagram. Just a quick few things of admin before we get into the player watch plays for the halftime break. And that is the first one is if you would like to get all the latest podcast news, make sure to go and click the link up there, either down here or use the QR code just up at the top right there as well. And you can go join the Substack and get all the latest podcast news when the podcast has news, which is to do with the next live stream watch alongs, when guests are coming on the show, and anything else to do with the podcast itself. You can also go to the rbltalk.com website to get all the latest RB Leipzig news as well, absolutely for free. Speaking of free, you can also join the free RB fans Discord community. The link is over on the link tree where all the social medias posts are. So you can go find the podcast along all social media as well. Click on the Discord logo and you can join the free RB fans Discord and speak with people from all around the world who are just like you, RB Leipzig fans. There is two dedicated channels. One is in English, as the podcast is in English, and the other is in German. So all you local fans are not left out. And you can talk about general topics or about the team. And you can speak to absolutely anyone over there as long as they're into the RB fans Discord, which is growing every single day. RBL Talk memberships as well are available if you enjoy the podcast and you enjoy the live streams and you enjoy everything else. If you would like to become an RBL Talk member, you can, which is optional. It's absolutely up to you. You can also donate to the show as well. A one-time fee or make it reoccurring if you like, for as little as $1. Or you can become an RBL Talk member for approximately $4.99 a month, depending on your currency. And you can get access to the private RB fans Discord community where only RBL Talk members are there, I should say. And you can also get podcasts ad free. You get all these YouTube videos ad free as well. So you don't have to worry about paying YouTube Premium. You can get your RBL Talk memberships there. And you can also get them on Apple as well. So if you don't want to go there, you can go and get it directly on your iOS or Apple devices and go into the podcast app, Apple Podcasts, and then sign up for your memberships. If you would like to get involved with this live stream watch along as well, it is an interactive live stream watch along. You can comment wherever you are watching this on the platform, and you can ask me questions and I'll interact with you live, as we've already had the same from other people today, from Rinkatik and Siani as well, and a few others as well, which is really good to see. Always enjoy interacting with people on the live stream and in the podcast as well. Alrighty, we'll go into Player Watch now with the couple of players for Player Watch this evening. And if you're just joining in, the scoreline at the break is 1-0 in favour of RB Leipzig as Xavi Simons opens the scoring in his 50th Bundesliga appearance for Die Rotten Bullen. So for those that listen to the podcast, there is something that we call Player Watch, where I single out two players that are on Player Watch specifically for this game. They may not always be the best player to pick, like as in the best player the team has, but it might be the player that I want to either focus on or I think is key to the success of either team. Now, for RB Leipzig, it is Tidiem Gomes. He has been named in the squad. Excuse me, but he's on the bench at the point in time. Hopefully he gets subbed on after the halftime break. I don't think he will, probably not until about the 70th minute or so, knowing manager Marco Rosa. But for Borussia Dortmund, it is Seru Girassi, as he has been a little bit on the slow side in the most couple of games, most recent ones for the Black and Yellows, as they have. He has been on a scoring streak before that. So far, he's played 49 minutes, which was the 45 plus added time. He has had 20 touches. He's had one shot, which was on target, one shot that was blocked. He's won two of two ground duels. Two of five aerial duels. He's been fouled three times. He's lost possession at six times. He's made two clearances and an interception. His passing accuracy as well is at 50%, as he's made 5 of 10 passes. And looking at his heat map, he is mainly been in the center of the park and also going towards his attacking goal as well. Mainly down on the left-hand side, but is floated in centrally as well. So I think for a Borussia Dortmund perspective, Ciro Guirassy needs to get more of the ball or focus more on going central to be able to take those goal-scoring opportunities. And Rinkatic says, miss doing YouTube. Man, if you want to get on YouTube, like go for it, man. I'll give you a shout out. No worries. Really enjoyed your content where you were on there. So, um, yeah, man, like do what you love. It's like I do these live streams and I do the podcast for every single person around the world that is an RB Leipzig fan. I don't do it for money. So, and I'll never do it for money because that's not me. And while we also have a little bit of a break as well before the players come back out onto the pitch. For those that didn't know, I was also spoken to by Talk Sport. They offered for me to become a part of their fan network. I had to turn it down, unfortunately, as just in their terms of service and commitment, it was basically saying that, and I understand why, they had to have admin access to the podcast feed so they can do whatever they want with it, essentially. I'm not saying that TalkSport would do that, but when you always have to have a mutual trust when it comes to that. And then there's also a part of the contract as well that said that it also said that they had uh, what was the word? No obligation to. I had a little video on YouTube about it. If you would like to go and watch that as well, but there was a clause in the contract where it said they didn't have to do anything to promote your podcast or anything like that. And they're basically, the Fair Network is also meant to be a marketing platform as well. So from me, from a business perspective, because I also do this as a business side, as a side type thing, because in Australia that I've got a registered business number and things like that, it's how I can offer RBL Talk memberships and things like that. They didn't want to it says in the contract that they weren't going to necessarily have an obligation to promote your podcast or do anything in the sorts of that, but they just want to add dynamic ad injection or something into your podcast feed, and then you look at it and go, well, what am I getting, so to speak? It also said that they didn't have to renew the contract as well, so there was no obligation for that as well. So then then they have full control over your feed. Then you need to get them to help you port it. You can't just do it yourself. And there's a few other things like that. And I really hope in the future that I can work with TalkSport or another company like that. But when you have a look at the contract, it was a bit one-sided to favour them. And there's no clauses or anything like that to favour my side and my perspective. So, there's a chance that, the podcast could disappear overnight, so to speak. You're not saying TalkSport would do anything like that or so forth, but these are the risks that you take, and there's something like that. I'm just not going to, have all my hard work and everything like that just thrown away, so to speak, and start from scratch. As it's already taken me a couple of years to get where I am now. So for those that don't know, I started the podcast way back in 2022 before I had to do a little bit of hiatus due to medical reasons. But going around the ground of the fixtures for today, for the Bundesliga matchday 26 fixtures, St. Pauli beaten Hoffenheim 1-0. Augsburg also beat Wolfsburg by the same scoreline. and Borussia Mönchengladbach beat Werder Bremen 4-2. 2-2 draw was played out between Mainz and Freiburg. Another draw was played out between Union Berlin and Bayern Munich as well. That was 1-1. In this fixture, of course, if you're just joining in and looking at the score, it's 1-0 as well, with Xavi opened the scoring in his 50th Bundesliga fixture. And to play, there is still Frankfurt, Bochum, Kiel, Holstein Kiel, and Heidenheim, and the big one on the Sunday late afternoon, Stuttgart and Leverkusen. But full focus on this fixture as the team comes through the tunnel, going back out onto the pitch, and you're coaching football, Rinketik. That's awesome, man. And you didn't want to mix it. Yeah, I get that. Because doing YouTube and things like that is a full time thing. So, yeah, I mean, I do my podcast. It takes up a lot of my spare time. Sometimes the missus it gets a little bit angry about it as well because I've got my family and things. So, um, basically, I have work 60+ hours a week, and then on any days off that I have, whether it's 2 or 3 or if I'm lucky 4, I've got to do all my podcast stuff in my spare time after work and sometimes before work and things like that. So, and this isn't a complaint or anything like that. Just creating content is basically, it takes its toll, and if you gotta do it right, you got to put your time and effort into it. So, and man, I applaud you. I hope you can do YouTube again one day if you enjoyed doing it. If you want to go back to that, or I wish you all the best anyway. And if you ever want to come on the show, Rinkatek as well, man, uh, go for it. So no issues with that. Just reach out and you can come on the show, just like every other person watching this or listening to this live stream can get on the show as well if you so choose. In the RBL Talk segment, more on that later on in the show as the game is underway again in the second half. Let me know your thoughts in the comments on who do you think is going to win this one. Will RB Leipzig hold on for a 1-0 lead? Will we score more? Or will Borussia Dortmund come back and win it? As straight away, Borussia Dortmund show their intent going forward. And Garassi almost has a goal there, just missed and goes to the right hand side past Peter Galacci. RB Leipzig not looking good here defensively at the moment, as Adyemi and Suru Garassi link up quite well. Excuse me. And yeah, that's cool, Rinkatik. I understand. You don't want to mix football, YouTube, and then football in real life. And if you go to Division, I don't know, 2 or something, I don't want people to know how I want to play football. Yeah, I get that. That's also the same thing. Because if you're speaking about tactics and things like that, you don't want to show your tactics and things on a YouTube and stuff like that. And then, people catch on and then do their homework and then they watch your content. So I completely get that. That's the same, man. As RB Leipzig currently have a corner kick down on the right hand side for RB Leipzig with Xavi Simons with the ball in his hand at the corner spot. Let's see the delivery. I'm going to guess in the middle. And it goes exactly there, but towards the back post. And a Pender. Wow, a volley. What a volley. Lewis Pender finally scores and breaks his goal drought. Let's change that. Lewis Pender breaks his goal drought. There you go. That was a very good delivery from Xavi Simons there. I actually think that's probably our first goal that I can remember that we've actually scored from a set piece this season, to be bluntly honest. So, Well, I guess the correct scoreline, but at the moment it's a RBL win, and I said it was going to be a Borussia Dortmund win. I'm actually glad that I'm wrong, as we really need to start climbing back up the table. Although the game is not over yet, we're still only in the 49th minute, as there is still going to be plenty of, for some reason, I don't know why, but my microphone better than what most people were getting, or at least in my settings, the microphone has changed, but not in the live stream settings, which is quite unusual. Anyway, back to the game at hand. As Borussia Dortmund looking now to push on and get a goal back into this fixture, as it looks like from the stat sheet here, they've scored 40 goals or conceded 40 goals this season. So I did say in the preview of this game that there will be goals. So we're certainly getting our goals this evening, or I should say this afternoon, well, depending on where you're from. Afternoon, evening, or morning, depending on where you're watching this live stream watch along. Speaking of which, I am your host this evening, Justin Crozer, the host of the RBL Talk podcast, the global podcast for all RB fans worldwide. This is your, oh wow, Bayer almost gets a goal back. It looks like Peter Galacci tips that over the bar, or it has gone straight over the bar, which has gone just over the crossbar there. I do think it's supposed to be a corner here, but we'll have a look because I think it actually gets a deflection. But no, there's no corner there as Kobel rushes out to stop that attack from Xavi Simons. RB Leipzig need to make sure they just don't lose their heads because RB Leipzig, we really do get up in games and then we just throw it all away and we let teams get back into it. So we really need to just make sure that we see this out to the very end. As Borussia Dortmund now go forward, slowly but surely going forward, switching play from left to right. I would like to actually see a couple goals from Borussia Dortmund just to make it interesting, but I would like us to win maybe 3-2, get an extra goal, and then have BVB come back a little bit. And speaking of which, and Bayer almost scores for the black and yellows with a beautiful volley and a powerful shot, but it goes just left of the goalposts. But that was a very, very good chance. It's just millimeters away. Literally takes a bobble and just goes straight out. Very unlucky for BVB fans this evening. As Borussia Dortmund lose the ball and win the ball back again going forward, this time on the right-hand side, but RB Leipzig earn a throw-in. Out on the left-hand side, and David Raum looks to be throwing the ball back into play. If you'd like to get involved in this live stream watch along, make sure that you comment along wherever you are watching this live stream watch along around the world and I'll interact with you live. If you're just joining in, the tale of the take is that RB Leipzig are 2 goals up with both Xavi Simons and Lewis Openda scoring and Borussia Dortmund almost getting another goal back here with a big clearance from Peter Galacci. Looks like Borussia Dortmund are here to play to get a second, or I should say first goal into this game. As RB Leipzig defensively look like they're just a little bit rattled a bit here with these extra chances that BVB have been getting, I should say, in the most recent few minutes. As they're attacking down this left-hand side, which is causing them problems currently at the moment. But Peter Galacci gets the ball, and we will slow down play a little bit and go set up ourselves as Gertruda gets the ball back to Galacci, and he clears it a bit too far over the heads of the RBL players, and Borussia Dortmund will go again for an attack. Although Grassi is unable to control the ball correctly and goes back the other way for RB Leipzig. Bayer is really causing problems here for the RBL defence. And I think if he's left to continue doing what he's doing, he is going to score. Speaking of which, he just headers the ball a bit loopingly, and Peter Galacci is easily able to mop that one up at his near post. Let me know what you think of the current game wherever you are watching this, whether you're watching this on YouTube, Twitch, X, or Instagram. We are live across all platforms this evening. As Borussia Dortmund are going forward again, Adeyemi goes to shoot, but it goes into the top stands behind the goal post there. So Dortmund really pushing hard here. Just coming into the 56th minute. And I think in about the last 4 or 5 minutes alone, RB Leipzig have been pretty fortunate, at least 2 of these 4 or 5 occasions that Borussia Dortmund have made. We just need to slow it down a little bit, retain the ball, play what I call keep away football for a little bit, just so we can, calm our heads and just shift the momentum back towards us. This is not the time to be playing end-to-end football for our perspective. As Adeyemi goes forward, tries to square it to Garassi, but it's gone out for a throw-in. Very good defending there from looked to be Raido Baku. And Dortmund will sit up again. They're really pushing hard here, the black and yellows. And I think they'll probably score within the next 5 minutes if things keep going the way they're going, as Xavi Simons gets a quick fast break, attempts to pass to Seshko, but it is easily dealt with by Schlotterbeck. And then BVB will now go forward again, favouring that right-hand side. Chances are drying up a little bit here for RB Leipzig, as Xavi Simons gives away a free kick in a dangerous position. If you're just joining into the live stream watch along, welcome to the Bundesliga Matchday 26 watch along of the Topspiel between RB Leipzig and Borussia Dortmund. I am your host for this evening's coverage. My name is Justin Crozer, the host of the RBL Talk podcast, the global podcast for all RB fans worldwide. If you're just joining in, the tale of the take is that Luis Openda has broken his goal drought with a beautiful volley to make the scores 2-0, with Xavi Simons setting him up, with Xavi also scoring the opener. And in the last 5 minutes, Borussia Dortmund have been peppering the RB Leipzig goal so far for naught, as they've had 6 shots on target. 6 shots in the last 5 to 10 minutes. There's a quick fast break on here by Gertruda, and his final ball is poor, and it's easily dealt with by Borussia Dortmund. And RB Leipzig pick the ball up just in their defensive third, and they're going to pass it around their back 3-4 here and just control the tempo a little bit here, which is good to see. But don't like these middle passes into the middle of the park, as we're giving it away, as we do so again down the right-hand side. Although we get the ball back again with Benjamin Seshko. He passes to Openda. A nice 1-2 attempt. The idea was there, from Lewis Openda, but the pass was too heavy and went straight into the path of the BVB defence. Just as we come up now to the 59th minute of play. And remember, if you would like to get involved in this live stream watch along, all you need to do is comment along wherever you are watching this. You can also comment with other people over here on the right hand side. We'll go that side over there. And you can, that's the chat there live across all platforms. You can chat with other people. And if you would like to get your podcast up to date news, you can scan the QR code on the right hand side of your screens. As looks like Adeyemi falls to the floor here and no penalty given. And BVB gets the ball back with an interception from Julian Brandt. Borussia just needs to turn and shoot, but he is unable to do so as all the RBL players swarm around him. Borussia Dortmund really pushing to get a goal here, coming into the 60th minute now. If RB Leipzig sit back on and rest on their laurels here and just try to defend this lead, we will lose or we'll drop points at least. As right now we're in a winning position. And Julian Brandt attempts a volley from just near the penalty arc and it goes high into the stands. And RB Leipzig will reset again. Looks like Kevin Campbell is going to be coming onto the pitch. And that is Christoph Baumgartner that's coming off. As Christoph Baumgartner has just come back from an illness, just managing some minutes here as Kevin Campbell comes onto the pitch. Good old Kevco, who's been around the club for quite some time now. For as long as I can remember, at the very least, I'm probably going to say good 8 years or so. One of the few players left from, I think Kevin Campbell was in the 3rd division with us, if I recall correctly. And now Borussia Dortmund will attempt to go forward again as the goal kick is dealt with from the BVB defence. RB Leipzig are pressing quite well, just don't want to overcommit here as BVB go forward down on the right-hand side. There'll be a cross coming in, and it does come in, and Peter Galacci manages to make a save off a deflection off his left back here, David Raum, which his foot was actually out of the play there, but because the ball never went out, it is still a save. And Borussia Dortmund again going forward. Borussia has a chance, and it's going to be a goal. Oh, wow. Peter Galacci, what a save. What an absolute save. 1-on-1 with Peter Galacci and Cyril Garassi goes down quickly, keeps an eye on the ball completely, and it was a ridiculous save. As Garassi tries to go forward again from this corner kick, as they're going to attempt another corner. I still think BVB are good for one goal, and I think they'll still get it as this corner cross comes in down towards the back post, and it's deflected and it's gone out for another corner, but this time on the left-hand side for Borussia Dortmund as he gets a yellow card for doing something really stupid. So And for those of you that are wondering what it was that he did, is that he hit the corner post and ripped off the flag. So that's his third yellow card for the season, as the cross is now coming in from the left hand side for RB Leipzig. And another another corner being given, this time down the left hand side for BVB. They take it quickly. And they're really, really trying to pepper these goals to get a goal back here. And for a BVB perspective, and Adeyemi, wow, what another save from Peter Galacci. Peter Galacci makes an absolute ridiculous save. He hits it straight up onto his crossbar and it goes out. Now the cross comes in and they still can't get it into the back of the net. Chance after chance after chance, the black and yellows are really, really turning up the heat here. And the RB Leipzig defense stands firm, this time with the save from Peter Galacci again from Ryanson. I do believe that is the player, number 26. I might have said that name wrong, as I only just saw the back of their name. Yep, Ryerson, Julian Ryerson. Just didn't have enough conviction on the shot there, as we are pressing very hard to get this, well, not an equaliser yet, but the first goal of, they will be hoping more. Just update the screen there for people watching and listening at home, with BVB pushing hard for a goal and the RBL defence so far standing firm. And this is coming into the 66th minute now. And Kobo almost makes a mess here, and it could have also been 3-0 quite comfortably there, as he takes an extra touch, which was a heavy touch, and he had to kick it out away from Sesko, as Lewis Openda now comes off for Lucas Klosterman. So this will be a formation change and a defensive one, as you're taking off a striker and you're putting on a fullback, which would be very interesting, because I don't know why you would be. Yes, I think we do need a little bit of a shoring up of the defence, which maybe it looks like we're going to play with a sole striker up front, and we'll play a back four now instead of a back three, as Lewis Openda gets the applause from the RBL fans. I'm happy to give him one all the way from Australia, as he has done quite well today. And a nice cutback from Baku and a shot from Sesko, but it is a good save from Kobel that denies the chance for Sesko's first. And my apologies, it was actually a deflection from, looked to be Emre Can. As for some reason my phone is going absolutely ballistic over here. Unsure why my phone's going ballistic for, but anyway, nothing that we need to worry about for score, anything like that. Remember, if you'd like to get involved with this podcast live stream, Bundesliga watch along, all you need to do is comment along wherever you are watching this. We're currently live across YouTube, Twitch, and X, and I can interact with you as you comment through. You can also make sure to comment along with other people across all platforms as well, with the live chat over on the right hand side of your screens. For those of you just joining into this live stream as well, the score is 2-0 for RBL, as BVB is still pushing hard for a goal, and the RB Leipzig defence is just holding up, just doing enough. Some good saves by Peter Galacci has kept the black and yellows at bay for now, as they currently have a corner kick on the right hand side. And Adyemi has the ball out far out wide. Emre Can has the ball, goes to cross to the back post. Peter Galacci with an easy save. And looks like Niko Kovac is getting a little bit frustrated there on the touchline with his assistant manager giving him some advice. It seems to be a foul there. No. Emre Can has gone to the ground. If you would like to also to get involved with the podcast stream, make sure you comment along wherever you are watching this. And remember, you can also get involved with the podcast as well. At the end of the show, we'll have an RBL Talk segment post. That will be going up shortly in just a few more moments' time. That post has been scheduled, ready to go. I would like to know if you're watching this or listening to this wherever you are around the world, what you currently think of the game this evening. Do you think RB Leipzig will hold on for a 2-0 win? Do you think BVB will come back? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. As Borussia Dortmund currently have the ball going forward, down the right-hand side, there will be a cross coming in. Any moment now, cross comes in, close from the byline to Garassi, heads it to Bayer, and they're just crowded quickly. The RB Leipzig defence is really crowding the attackers there for BVB, just making it difficult to play anything. And this attack here looked okay, but the last couple of passes were pretty poor from Campbell and Intruder. No, Rinkatic, I don't play FC or Football Manager, like FIFA Club or Football Manager. The only game I get to play, like, as in the only console I get to play these days is Nintendo Switch, because it's so portable and it's not often that I'm able to actually play any decent games. So I do have one of them on Switch, but very rarely do I play that. So, but I used to play a lot of FIFA Ultimate Team and things like that back when I was playing PS3, PS4, so and Xbox as well. So I don't really miss it too much these days, but I did enjoy really starting with poor players and having to earn your way there. Didn't really like the in-app purchases and all that type of stuff, but yeah, especially per year for the seasons, like it just seems like a cash grab. The game engine and stuff doesn't change much. As speaking of changes, Borussia Dortmund having two players come onto the pitch, which is this is actually a good change here. Adeyemi comes off, Gittins comes on, and the next one is Ryson comes off, and Chuka Wayenka, I've probably said that, is also coming on to the pitch. Leipzig's going to close this out. Won't be pretty, but they got this. I like your thinking there, Gregor. Hopefully that you're right there. It will be find out if we can hold on though, because we're used to being back ends of the games not too well there. And as Ballum has said, that no, I'm not muted this evening, and there has been no mutes so far this evening. So made sure all that stuff was done and sorted this morning once I came onto the stream. So, and yes, as you said, Ballum, this match isn't goalless at least, which is good to see. So I would like to see a couple of more goals in this, like another 3 goals, just for the entertainment value. BVB come back, but then RBL still able to win it, as it would be really poor if we managed to drop points in this fixture with only 16 minutes or so to go into this Topspiel here, which is a lot more better than the last week's Topspiel, which was pretty lackluster event for viewing for people, as Borussia Dortmund attempt to cross the ball in from the right-hand side to Garassi, which is getting pushed away from the goals there. BVB need to focus on him more, getting closer towards the goal. As Pascal Gross gets the ball, passes it into the box, and a shot from looks to be Gittins, and it was easily dealt with by Peter Galachi. If you're just joining into the stream, welcome to this live stream of the Topspiel of Bundesliga round 26. My name is Justin Crozer. I am the host of the RBL Talk podcast, the RB podcast. Sorry, I should say the RB Fans podcast for global fans. Talk about a live stream butchering. If you're just joining in, the tale of the take so far is that BVB are pushing hard for a goal. The RBL defence has been standing firm. Peter Galachi has made some good saves. We haven't seen player watch player yet of Didier Gomes so far for RB Leipzig, and I'm hoping he gets more than the 2 minutes that Marco Rosa allotted him in the last fixture. And the other player watch player for BVB was Seru Guirassy, and has had multiple chances. And as speaking of chances, Borussia Dortmund are trying to make more down the right-hand side. I think they need to swap things up a little bit from BVB perspective and go to the left-hand side, as they attempt again from the central area of the right-hand side of the pitch. And Gittins takes another shot and straight into the grasp of Peter Galachi again. Definitely the right idea for Gittins coming onto the pitch. He's normally a good creator of chances and normally takes them better, just unable to strike the ball well at the moment. As Bellum has mentioned, Mainz drew today, so Leipzig are 3 points off them. Mainz have a better goal difference. And that is correct, Bellum. Leipzig are also up to 5th if they win. As BVB decide to go forward again, this time they're going down the left-hand side, which is good to see. And they actually get some space here. But I think the last ball was a bit too far. Garassi just needs to turn and shoot. Oh, wow. Pascal Gross over the bar, over that crossbar. Just it's not coming off today for BVB. It's good for an RB Leipzig perspective, but like I said, I do want to see a couple of extra goals in this, make it a bit more interesting from a BVB perspective. But RB Leipzig have done just enough, I'd say, to be convincing to win this one. Unless we have a very poor 14 minutes left of this fixture, we are well deserved for all 3 points here in today's fixture. Let me know what you think so far of the game down below in the comments section wherever you are watching this live stream. Top spiel of match day 26 in the Bundesliga between RB Leipzig and Borussia Dortmund. Currently live across X, YouTube, and Twitch with a few viewers across all platforms, which is always good to see. I also know we have a lot of listeners over on X that do listen to the podcast as well and do interact. And in the stadium as we speak in the arena. So thank you for your view or your listening ship wherever you are around the world. As BVB go forward, but unfortunately, Ciro Garassi leaves himself offside, which I think is due to a little bit of frustration, as Didier Gomes now is getting ready to come onto the pitch. Also, Castillo Lekeba looks to be coming onto the pitch as well. It'll be good to see Didier Gomes come onto the pitch. Hopefully, Xavi Simons comes off the pitch. He's deserved a rest in today. Hasn't played fantastically well, but he's done just enough with a couple of flashes of brilliance to help with the assist and also just being in the right place at the right time for the first opening goal of this fixture. And here comes BBB right hand side. cuts into the box, gets around, gets around what looks to be sidewalled, but it goes out for a corner kick on the left-hand side. While we wait for that corner to be set up, we can have a look at the comments section. And Bellum says that we want 4, Leipzig score 4. No problem. I wouldn't mind seeing a few extra goals, but yes, I do believe that most people watching this stream would be wanting 4, or at least a few more goals for RB Leipzig. And Bellum also says, so far clean sheet, and this is a platform for defence. I'm watching from southwest London. Not a problem, Bellum. Good to have you all the way over in the UK over there. I do know that currently we have some people over in the UK, in Germany, also in the USA, and a few other places as well, wherever you are watching this or listening to this live stream watch along. We have just 11 minutes to go, plus any added time. So far, we'll probably have about 2 minutes of added time, depending on what happens, as BVB still are pushing for an extra goal in this game. It'll be their first. They've had multiple chances. I think they've actually been the better side in the second half. As I say that, RB Leipzig have a fast break, but that final pass was just poor. And Xavi falls down again, but it looks to be a fast break, but it's pretty stoppable from RB Leipzig perspective. As Borussia Dortmund make their way down that right-hand side again, a cross back from Gittins only into Nicholas Seiwald, and David Realm ends up clearing the ball away. We will see Tim Gomes very shortly. So I did say that he won't come on until after the 70th odd minute earlier in the stream, as that's how Marco Rosa likes to roll. And we will put up the player watch players just as we wait for him to come onto the pitch. And for some reason, I can't copy Garassi's name, as Lucas Klosterman gets a little bit of attention from Sir Garassi. As coming onto the pitch now is Hadara, Castella Lekepa, and Tidiam Gomes. There we go, just put that up here. As Xavi Simons comes off the pitch, Tidiam Gomes will get only an extra 5 minutes onto the pitch, which is very disappointing. Not happy about that, Marco. Let's have a quick look. Going back to some comments here. Rinketic Sports says, is it just me or is it weird that if Leipzig don't win the DFP, the only thing Red Bull can win is Salzburg with the Youth Champions League? I think so, yeah. I'm not really paying too close attention to other Red Bull teams, although the MLS just started as well. So New York Red Bulls might be able to get something this year as well. Bellum says, last podcast audio was good. You were out, as you say, you were out in a Red Bull head office or a Red Bull store shop. You were Apple earphones, as you say. Yeah, I was not using these ones. I couldn't travel with the AirPod Maxes, but the audio on the AirPod Max is actually quite good. I have tested the recording audio software with these and then the processing. It sounds fine. Like you could get away with that. But I was actually in an airport as well, so I tried to find a nice quiet place. And then it was just the normal AirPods. I don't have them on me at the moment, but everyone knows what they look like in the AirPod cases. That's just my Samsung buds. But yeah, as it wasn't the greatest. I didn't think it was great. I'm glad you said it was okay. For me, it was passable, but that's not regular content quality of my own standards and liking, I guess you could say. If it's once in a blue moon and stuff like that, I can't help it. So I'm just going to have to try to bring the microphone itself next time. That just means I probably need to have checked luggage or something like that, as I only had carry on, as I was only away for a few days. And Syria is a goal scorer. We saw how good he was. He was activated, I don't know why. As a goal scorer, we saw how good he was last season. Um, yeah, absolutely. And he's definitely due to score today, but he hasn't been able to. Um, I would like to see a goal scored from a BVB perspective, but I mean, while we're coming into the last 6 minutes, it's probably best that we um, just keep the clean sheet, really. So I'm just going to have a look at. I did spell Tidium Gomes correct. Yep. As BVB do go forward again, and speaking of Garassi, has the ball now. Just needs to open up the angle there and shoot, but he doesn't. Passes it to Pascal Gross, and RB Leipzig blocking all passing lanes at the moment, which is good to see. And it looks like Gittins has the ball out on the right hand side, cuts back in, shoots, and it goes way over the crossbar and into the stadium for the fans there behind the goal sticks. But going back to what you said there, Ballum, as well. No, I wasn't in any Red Bull office or anything like that. We don't have one in Australia, actually. So um, that's something that we don't have here is like a Red Bull shop or anything like that that I'm aware of, anyway. I know you can buy their stuff from sports places. You can't buy any Leipzig things, though. As Julian Brandt attempts to cross the ball in, but it's deflected out for a throw in on the right hand side. And it's just not really doing anything at the moment uh, for Borussia Dortmund here, as they attempt again from the right hand side, as there's a deflection and it goes out for another throw in. Yeah, as I was saying, you can go to sports shops and buy like Red Bull merchandise and stuff like that from like their sports teams and things, but you can't get any RB Leipzig um, merchandise or anything like that. You have to still buy it from the online shop. So a little disappointing. Hopefully one day I can go down to the local sports shop and you can buy the Guernseys and things like or jerseys. But for now, just buy it as normal. As Benjamin Sesko has the ball, opens up the angle, but ends up getting a challenge from Emre Can. And that's a foul there from, looks to be Haidara. Yep. A booking for a substitute. Again, not good to see. I don't like to see that. It is always disappointing. I mean, there's only another 3 minutes left plus at a time, so it's not the worst in the world. But and as another booking is given to Ksela Kaba, both 2 of 3 substitutes are now being booked. Where Ksela Kaba is a definite yellow as he essentially treads on the almost the Achilles tendon of the Borussia Dortmund player. As Borussia Dortmund attempt again from the right hand side, I said they need to go to the left because they're becoming a little bit one dimensional. And the cross in from Borussia Dortmund goes past absolutely everyone, but it goes for a throw in for BVB as a deflection from RB Leipzig. Or by the looks of things, no, it isn't. Bayer is just taking the ball instead. And looks to be Getrauda will be throwing the ball in down on the left hand side. Going back to some comments from Rinkedik Sports Agenda, I am thinking about going to an RBL game soon. Maybe the Stuttgart game. I don't know. That's awesome, man. If you go, that's good. And do you mean the Stuttgart DFB Pokal? Because if you do, hopefully they win for you, man. That would be a really good game, actually. I do think that that's probably the game that defines the rest of the season. To be honest, I think the Pokal is excuse me, pretty much what we need to get. DFB Pokal or bust, like I think that was episode 63. I posted. As Ballum says, away to Borussia Mönchengladbach next in Bundesliga. Another Borussia team. Good test for Stuttgart away. Yeah, absolutely. Gladbach are normally a very good side defensively, so it's going to be interesting what happens in the next Bundesliga fixture, which at this stage is not going to be a live stream. That's just a heads up. I don't think I've got my work roster out that far yet, to be bluntly honest. I'll have to have a look. But I wanted to get this one done anyway, as even though I did last week's with the SC Freiburg, it did seem a little bit lackluster, and it didn't seem that it was all that good. Although, funny enough, we had more viewers in the live stream for the last week's game than we did this one. So, as we come into the 89th minute, and probably about 3 minutes at a time, we'll wait and see what the fourth official says. And also remember that you can get involved with the podcast as well with the RBL Talk segment. There is a post already out on social media. They should all be posted. Make sure to look at that post and comment wherever you are on your favorite social media platform. And I will read out your comment and interact with you on the next podcast episode. We'll be staying for a few moments after this fixture as well, if you would like to have a bit of a general chat until the stream comments die off. And when the stream comments die off, I will sign off of the stream. As we're coming into the final minute now of normal time before we get into injury time. BVB coming forward. Can I get a consolation goal? Wow. Just really, really struggling to get that last kick. But it is a corner kick down the left-hand side. Would like to see a consolation goal from BVB. Don't think it's going to happen, though, as they're still pressing forward. The problem is that everyone needs to get on side. They can't even get through the pass there, as here comes Gomes, and he's all by himself. Just go for goal, son. You've got no pace there. Oh, good shot down to the left near post. Makes Coble work hard for it. But offside, off for a foul. I wouldn't call that a foul. We've got 4 minutes of added time. We've just finished 1 minute. We're coming into the second minute. As BVB looks to try to go for a shot at goal. Can't do anything with it, as the RBL defence is very, what's the word, very clustered. And it's easily dealt with by the RBL defence as well. And Sheshko looks like he gets poor challenge, but as BVB are really focusing down this right-hand side, I think they really need to change things up a little bit if they were going to score. But I don't think they will. With just another 2 more minutes left of added time, really can't see the black and yellows getting one back now. Almost a point. And as Ballum says, a DFB Pokal, a cup would be nice for Leipzig. But I do think that we're going to be playing Bayer Leverkusen in that final. We'd love to see Arminia Bielefeld get in, and if they do, hopefully they win it, as it'll be their first DFB Pokal trophy. But yeah, it's going to be very difficult in that next fixture for RB Leipzig, whether or not we make it into the final. As Shabu is on the pitch, just got hit into the gut, which is never good to feel. It's in the stomach. Just always takes the wind out of you. Nothing like getting hit in the gut with a soccer ball or a football. So he won't be he needs to lay off the chili if he's going to be eating any of that, because your gut won't be very well after just getting a soccer ball pelted into your gut. I can tell you that from experience. As we come into the final minute now of added time, coming into the fourth of 4 minutes of added time, and Borussia Dortmund are still attacking. You can't thwart them for their desire to keep on trying until the final whistle, which is good to see. They could have easily, set up shop and given up minutes ago, but they're still going. Do deserve a consolation goal, which might be coming. Peter Galacci with another good save. Gets down quick and low to his right. And looks like Radel Baku, a little bit worse for wear there. As looks like he just steps wrong and jars his knee a little bit. Hopefully there's no structural damage there. And he's running now, so no issues. And Bayer goes to shoot, but again, Peter Galacci with another close save. Coming into the last minute now, we're overtime now, as this will be the final play from BVB as they have a corner. Play it short, still on the right-hand side, comes in, cross to the back post, deflection, out again for another corner. And BVB will have one more last chance. Bit of time wasting here from BVB. Cross comes in, near post, past everybody, and Schlotterbeck can't do anything with it. And the ball has been won by Costello Lacaba, which now should be end of game. It looks like Šeško wins the ball, and this last play is going to be interesting. Šeško shoots and misses far and wide to the left of Goebel, and it is full time. Well, guess the correct scoreline, but wrong team won, and I couldn't be more happier that RB Leipzig have managed to win. So we will stay live in this stream for a bit, and then we will go through Player Watch in the podcast episode, not for today. I will say that Tidium Gomes did play quite well, but we will put our comments up and we'll ask for the comments and the questions. So if you've got any questions to finish off the round out of the live stream, let me know. Put them in the comments section wherever you are watching this live stream watch along. Whether you're watching on YouTube, Twitch, X, or Instagram, let me know what you think of the game. And you can also get on the podcast in the RBL Talk segment. Make sure to look for those posts across your social media platforms, and you can comment on that, and I will read out your comment during the show and reply back to that as well. And we'll just update for the listeners here. There we go. Just hold up that there. For the tail of the take is for those of you just joining in of the stream. Excuse me, this is the back end of the stream. And for those of you just joining in, RB Leipzig win 2-0 in the Saturday Topspiel of the Bundesliga, match day 26 of RB Leipzig versus Borussia Dortmund. RB Leipzig hold off a late surge from BVB, and Lewis Openda scores to end his goal drought. As Lewis Openda has been struggling to score of late, he scored a nice volley, which was from a corner kick from Xavi Simons down on the right-hand side delivery, and as it came into the box. And the Xavi Simons opened up the scoring for RB Leipzig as well, as he was in the right place at the right time and just buried home a goal as well from close range. More on all that in the upcoming podcast episode as well. For those of you just joining in, the tale of the take is that RB Leipzig hold off a late surge from BVB, with Lewis Openda, who scores to end his goal drought. If you would like to comment along with anything that you've got to say of how RB Leipzig played, make sure that you comment along now before I close off the stream. Hopefully we have some comments going through the chat here before I close it off. I will give a few more moments of time just before we close off the stream for extra comments this evening. While we do that, make sure that if you would like to get all the latest podcast news, make sure to click the link down below, subscribe for free at the RBL Talk Substack, get all the latest podcast news straight into your inbox. You can either go to the link there on your screen, or you can go to the link up here in the top right of your screen as well, in the show notes as well. If you are not already a member of the free RB Fans Discord, go over to the link tree, find your social media platform and follow the podcast over there as well. If you aren't already joined and following the podcast across all social media, you can get all the latest podcast news, the latest RB Leipzig news in the Discord as well, and chat with other people who are RB fans, just like you watching this or listening to this live stream. There is 2 dedicated channels, one for English and one for German. You can talk about general topics or about the team in either German or English, and there's a lot of members going over there and people joining every day, which is always good to see. And if you enjoy what I do and want to support the show, you can become an RBL Talk member. Members get access to the podcast completely ad-free. You get episodes early. You get all the podcast news early as well. Basically, it's a good way to help support the show, and you get a lot of other things as well. You can find all the benefits over there on the rbltalk.captivate.fm/support link. And if you don't want to sign up over there, you can also sign up on Apple Podcasts as well. You can get your RBL Talk memberships over there. Just having a quick look here at the comments section before we close off the stream. Are you happy they won? And a podcast listen for listeners. Yeah, I am happy, Ballum, that we won. A little surprised that we won, to be honest, but very good that we actually won this game. But it's good to see the tide change, that we actually won. And thank you, Bellum, as well. Take care, you too. Always enjoy everyone who is a viewer or listener to this live stream, no matter if you start from the beginning, if you're just coming to the back end of it now, or if you are joining partway through and staying from there. As I know that the count is ticking up there for people still joining in the live stream here. So if you would like to comment along and ask any questions or anything like that, make sure that you do so now, which I'll give a couple more minutes before I close off the stream. Do remember that you can listen to the podcast as well wherever you get your podcasts. You can go to the link in the show notes on YouTube and find the podcast and subscribe to it across all your favorite podcasting platforms. Also remember that you can go to any podcast social media as well, so you can find the podcast across all mainstream social media. We're over on, as the ticker down below says, X or Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Blue Sky and Mastodon. You can also listen to the podcast across all the podcast platforms, and you can get on the show as well as a special guest in the RBL Talk segment, or you can just send a comment in as well, and I will read out your comment during the show and also respond to you during the podcast show. We'll just give it a couple more moments before I close off this stream, as seems to be no comments for this evening. Excuse me. I do know that sometimes this stream is about 30 seconds behind, but there is no more people commenting on and no one else joining in. So I'm going to sign off for this podcast live stream. One last quick thing. If you would like to get your podcast news straight to your inbox. Subscribe to the Substack for the link there in the show notes, or use the QR code on the top right-hand side of your screens. If you would like to join the RB Fans Discord community run by the RBL Talk podcast, there is a free community over there on Discord, which is a really good growing community. You can talk in English or talk in German as well, so the local German fans are being included into that. And the RBL Talk memberships are also available. You can go to the Captivate site, rbltalk.captivate.fm/support. If you would like to become an RBL Talk member, you can go to that podcast site there and find out all your extra benefits, including ad-free episodes and episodes early. You can also become an RBL Talk member on Apple Podcasts if you so choose. The tale of the take this evening was a Topspiel between RB Leipzig and Borussia Dortmund. RBL end up 2-0 winners as they hold off a late surge from BVB, and Lewis Openda scored to end his goal drought. I am your host of the RBL Talk podcast, and until next time, I've been Justin Crozer. Bye-bye for now.